Many of the times we have read the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 men. But today I've read this story and I think there is more than just a miracle of feeding so many people. But let's concentrate on what the young boy and Jesus' disciples had in mind. First thing, we have the boy with just a few, just very little, to feed the 5,000 men. And we have the disciples who are looking at the crowd and seeing that there is no way we can feed these people. And here we have Jesus asking them to tell the people, sit down and let the boy bring the few fish. Let me just read that verse and tell you and see what and how many number of fish, and see how this miracle could have happened. When Jesus then said, lift up his eyes, and saw a great company come unto him, he said unto Philip, where shall we buy bread that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew that what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. Let me jump to verse 9. There is a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. But what are they among so many? Just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, feeding 5,000 men. The people, the disciples, were much concentrated on the little that was available. They did see anyway that the little they had, how it can be multiplied to feed the 5,000 people. But my understanding is this: many of the times we are focused on the little that we have, and many needs that we also have. When we compare the two, we don't see an option. We don't see the solution. We don't see how these needs, many needs that we have, how they can be met by the little that's available. But my advice and my answer from the biblical context of this scripture is that regardless of how little you may be having this evening, it doesn't matter. Go before the eyes of God with the little and ask God to multiply the little you have to meet your needs. 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish might have appeared too little, but when the small boy gave this to Jesus, the little was multiplied, and the little was in position to feed 5,000 men. What little do you have? The little you have and what you consider little this evening, take it to the Lord. Don't focus on your many needs. Focus on what God can do with the little you have now. Ask God to use the little you have to meet your needs. It's by faith that these things can work. It doesn't matter how little you might be having in your hands, but that little can be multiplied to meet all your needs. Remember the story of the widow and the Elijah. When he went to Elijah, Elijah just asked the wind, "What do you have?" "Little oil." And Elijah told this woman, "Go borrow containers from your neighborhood and take that little oil, put a drop in every drum." And immediately she did that. All the containers she had borrowed were filled with oil. She sold, she paid all her debts. And this is exactly what God is waiting for us. The little we have, how much faith do we demonstrate on that? How much faith do we have in God that He can use the little we have to make great, to meet many needs that we are having? From today, don't focus on the little you have, but focus on what God can do with that little which is in your hands. Make sure you put your faith in God. Don't wonder how many do you need. Ask God, what can I do with the little you have given me to meet all the needs that are surrounding me? As a parent, many of the times you might find yourself having very little, but every son and every daughter needs to be taken to school. Then you ask, how will they report to school? It doesn't matter. God has a plan. With the 5,000 you are holding now to meet the needs of 100,000. It doesn't matter. The little is not the concern, but the concern is what can God do with that little you have if you entrust it to Him. The feeding of 5,000 men is more than a miracle in our daily lives. Don't concentrate on the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, which is in your hands. Focus on what God can do with the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to feed 5,000 people. Your many needs can be met, just the little which you have in your hands. Have a blessed night. Thank you.